Welcome back to the sweatshop, boys and girls. Today we're working on a 2007 Subaru Forester. In today's video, boys and girls, we're going to be showing you how to swap out these stabilizer links. Now, I picked these ones up off of Rock Auto. Of course, the shipping was tied in with a bunch of other stuff because if any of you guys use Rock Auto out there, currently the shipping is ridiculous. Well, can't really blame them with today's fuel prices. Anyhow, we picked up these Delphi Technologies stabilizer links on Rock Auto, and they seem to be fairly good quality upon opening up the package, of course, and they had some good reviews online. So hopefully they withstand the test of time. Now, this is not a job that you shouldn't do in your driveway. It is definitely something that is doable by you at home, but there are a few things to be aware about. The only thing really that you have to be aware about, boys and girls, is if you live in the Rust Belt, because if you do, it'll be a royal pain in the ass if these things are rusted. What tends to happen is you have a serious buildup of rust on the threaded portion of the stabilizer link where your bolt threads onto, of course, and it doesn't want to let anything come apart. And then what happens as you try to hammer this thing off, the joint wants to spin. And as you can see here in this portion here of the stabilizer link, there is no slotted section so you can stick a wrench on there in order to grip. Most of the OE manufacturers design their stabilizer links in this fashion, which can be a real pain in the ass when trying to remove them. So if you don't live in the Rust Belt, things will go quite smoothly and you'll just need a socket of the appropriate size to get off whatever stabilizer link you have. Of course, if it is an OE joint, you will need a 14 mil. Now, if it's an aftermarket like this, I don't know what size that is, but it's not 14 mil. It's probably 16 or 15 mil. You'll also need a really good quality vice grip that will fit between the control arm and this section here of the stabilizer link. Now, if that does not work, boys and girls, you will need, well, you'll probably need a drink and a little bit of a break. And then once that is done, you will need possibly a heat source. Now, I don't suggest you using a pair of torches in the front of your garage or in your garage because you don't want to burn your car down by accident and then your house to save yourself $10 or $15. That would really be a bad day. Now, that being said, boys and girls, if you are confident in using one of these things, well, good luck. Safety first. Always important. Second thing, boys and girls, you can just break the joint off sometimes with a giant pry bar and then use the vice grip to grip the ball that is inside this cavity. Now, let's hope that these things come out relatively quickly for me and they don't give me much of a headache and you boys and girls have a short video and I'm not showing you how to burn these stupid things out of the car. That being said, boys and girls, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button to support my work and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss one of my new videos. Let's get started. Now, boys and girls, here is the said part in question. As you can see there is a little bit of play. Besides the play, you can see there is a nice layer of rust dust all over the joint, which indicates that there is something happening that shouldn't be happening. If this dust wasn't coming out, we would know we had a nice seal. And because we know we don't have a nice seal, we know that crap has made its way into the joint, which of course has probably caused it to wear prematurely. Now, that really has nothing to do with driving style or anything like that. That's really just a crappy joint. Unfortunately, I did not replace these joints and I don't know what quality they are, but obviously they're not that good. So we're gonna go ahead and swap them out today. Now, that being said, if you are doing this in your driveway, boys and girls, you don't necessarily have to peel the wheels off. You can if you want. I'm going to try and do it without getting the wheels off. I'm going to try and get in there with my impact driver that is set up like an air wrench. So that will make my life a little bit easier and I don't have to work my elbows as much because they don't really work very well anymore. Anyhow, that's a story for another day. The criteria for you at home is to make sure that you get the car up high enough so that you can work comfortably underneath. As long as it clears your beer gut, you're pretty much good to go. Of course, make sure you employ the use of jack stands so you don't end up puncturing your beer gut. Now, this here, boys and girls, looks like the OE size. I think it's a 14 mil, but like I say, boys and girls, if your car is as old as mine is, you're probably going to have a different size because these things have probably been replaced at some point in the past. So what you need, boys and girls, is a tool kind of like this. This here will allow me to have some space and hopefully enough oomph in it to break these little things loose. Now, if we can't get them loose, we'll break them loose by hand. Let's go get the appropriate socket and give it hell. Now, boys and girls, these are aftermarket. So this here is a 15. If it is the OE part, it will definitely be a 14 millimeter socket. Now, get your 15 on. What you're going to do is take a wrench to feel around whether the aftermarket part has any slits in it that'll allow a wrench to get on so you can grip it. Unfortunately, this guy doesn't have any slits, so we'll have to use the vice grip. The other thing is, most times when they do have a little slot or cutaway where you can put in a wrench, it's usually the same size or a couple mil within the same size of the socket used to tighten up the fastener. So hopefully that helps you boys and girls out at home. Take a vice grip, bury it as close as you can to the control arm, ensuring that you grip the metal portion of the stabilizer link, and then, boys and girls, clamp as hard as you can. It should hurt, and that's how you know you're getting tight enough. Remember, boys and girls, if you're not feeling like you're about to get an aneurysm, you're not clamping hard enough. Okay. Fuck. There we go. Now, flex sockets, always best because it gives you a little bit of room, and you can go ahead now, grab your wrench. If you don't, of course, you would have peeled the wheel off, and then you can use your impact driver to bust this thing out. There we go. Tighten it up just a bit in order to break free the nut, and then hit it in reverse. One done. Now we got to get that brilliant top one. Hopefully, boys and girls, yours comes out like that. Of course, being a mechanic for so many years, I could see that it wasn't terribly bad, so I thought it would come out, and I was right in my estimation. Now, most times what I usually do if it looks really crusty is I don't even try to get it off. You just break the goddamn nut. You'd fire the wheel off and then just use an impact gun and smash the thing until this thing shears off, and then you just pull it right out because you're replacing it anyhow. But if it looks like it's something that's salvageable, WD-40 or any sort of lubricant is your friend. In case I didn't mention it for whatever reason, boys and girls, it is best to use a curved jaw vice grip. This one here is 5 inches in length, so you don't need to be massive in order to get the job done. Go ahead, sneak your tooling into place. Yeah, that's not gonna work. God damn. All right, well, let's get the socket in there and see what can be done. Unfortunately, this control arm has this little stupid contraption here for fancy smanchy suspension, which we don't have. So that was just a useless contraption that Subaru added that is now in my way. Anyhow, let's pull the socket off. We'll break this guy free by hand, and we'll hope for the best. Now, boys and girls, very important. If you are going to be using your hands to loosen up this nut here, remember, you are the machine and machines break down. But machines like us are irreparable most times. So lubricant is your friend. Give it a spurt, work your wrench in there. Oh man, it's even in the way of my socket. And then crank. It's gonna be much easier for you boys and girls at home because you won't have the camera in your way. All right, there we go. Success. Now the driver's side is easier because it doesn't have that stupid little tab over here. So you're not going to have that interfering with your sanity. Oh yeah, we're getting to the rusty bits and it's nice and stiff. Okay, let's pull this off. We'll get a ratchet wrench. I suggest, boys and girls, the absolute longest wrench that you have. This one here is bought at the Crappy Tire locally. I don't know what the equivalent would be for you boys and girls down in the States, but I'm pretty sure they have them. Maybe at a Pep Boys or something like that. Ow. Come on. Looks like that might have been cross-threaded or something. That's all screwed up. Anyhow. There you go, boys and girls. Both nuts are out, and now all you gotta do is twist it like this. Oh, the bottom one's stiff, man. Oh, we're gonna have to get a pry bar or something on that. This here, boys and girls, is an upholstery removal tool. Be very gentle with it because it's meant for plastic clips. Oh, you bastard. Okay, there we go. Get that guy to bend. Almost there. Okay. Once you get the top portion out, pull the bottom out and there's your joint. That's the bad one, but I can't show you it shaking on camera. The reason being, boys and girls, is because my hands shake every time I shake it. So yeah. Okay, now boys and girls, what you need to do is pick up your new joint and just squeeze it like that. You want your joints now to point in the inward position on the actual stabilizer link. That way it'll make it a little bit easier for you to sneak it into place. And do the bottom one or the top one first. Then, once you get him into both holes, you're going to twist. Now that joint won't go anywhere. Of course, let's clean some of that rust off. Now, there's really not much you can do in terms of preventative maintenance for these things. They either work or they don't work. Unfortunately, even if you put some anti-seize, because it's exposed to all the rain and water, it's going to get washed off most likely. But if it makes you feel any better, boys and girls, you can put anti-seize on the threaded portion of the stabilizer link. Now, I'm going to get the 17 mil bolts that were supplied with my joint and I'm going to fasten them up. These ones here, boys and girls, have a lock mechanism. That plastic nylon ring inside there is a locking mechanism. So when you're cranking these on by hand, if the shaft starts to move, what we'll need to do is employ the use of an offset wrench and a 5 or 6 millimeter Allen. I'm not quite sure what size it was because my eyes don't work like they used to, or my brain for that matter, but whatever, that's a story for another day. Okay, let me get the appropriate wrench and we'll start cranking. Take your 17 mil and begin cranking. Put one finger on the shaft so that you know whether it's spinning or not. And when I say the shaft, you can see where my index finger is. That's what I'm talking about. Now I look stupid on camera. Again? Come on, man. 3 times and you look really the R word. So far, we have luck, boys and girls. There is no spinning. If there is no spinning with yours, just go ahead and snug it up. If it does begin to spin, like I say, find the appropriate hex socket for your application. For you boys and girls who may run into that issue, I will show you exactly what you need. If you run into a situation, boys and girls, where this guy starts to spin on you while threading in the nut, what you're going to need to do is find the appropriate hex socket. You're going to need an offset wrench like this. You're going to slide the wrench on like so onto the nut, hold the nut captive, and then spin the threaded portion of the stabilizer link with your ratchet that's attached, of course, to your hex. And just snug it up. And then once it's snug, you can go ahead and torque everything down. Don't judge me, I'm too lazy to go over and get my ratchet combination. Oh man, I really should have got that ratchet. Now, boys and girls, all that is left for us to do to finish this job is to go ahead and torque our stabilizer link bolts. Of course, the torque spec is 33 foot-pounds or 45 newton meters. That is that, boys and girls. All that's needed now is to, of course, give it a shake to make sure the part isn't defective for whatever reason, and do the other side. Don't just do the one side, because you don't want to end up doing the same stupid thing the week after. Well, boys and girls, luckily for you at home, this stupid thing started to rotate. Now, I'll tell you the reason why I use this thing is because I got fat hands. But if you have a flex head ratchet wrench or just a flex head wrench, which I've never seen a flex head wrench come to think about it, but yeah, whatever. Anyhow, you get your flex head ratchet wrench, you stick it in there like so, and that way you have enough room for your hands to get in there. This here, boys and girls, is a 5 mil. Oh, damn it, I put the ratchet in the wrong way. No, I didn't. Wait, I went the wrong way. So, with the ratchet in, boys and girls, what you're going to do is set your ratchet to the off position as though you're cranking the bolt off, and then begin cranking. This, boys and girls, will tighten up your joint. You don't want to do this with a gun, boys and girls. The reason being is because this here has plastic, and if you spin it really quickly, you will damage or heat up or potentially wear that plastic down quickly. And then you'll be crying soon thereafter installing this part. And I don't know about you boys and girls at home, but I don't like doing stuff twice, especially on the same vehicle. Once you get the threaded portion kind of snug, do not attempt to tighten it up with the Allen. You will ruin it, especially because most joints are made in offshore land where quality is not really of interest. Just tighten it up with your wrench. Now, of course, I need to repeat the same process up top here, which I'm going to do off camera because this will bore you some more, and I'm not looking forward to boring you. I want you guys at home to subscribe and continue watching my videos, so yeah, I will be back. Torque spec is the same on both sides, boys and girls. It is 33 foot-pounds or 45 newton meters. That's a thumbs up for me. Yeah. Now, boys and girls, for those of you who have stuck around and continued watching the video, you're going to see now what else may potentially be causing a knocking noise in the front of your car related to your stabilizer link. It's this guy here. This is the stabilizer link bushing. It is on either side of the car and encapsulated by this stupid subframe portion of the Subaru. Now, I know that these guys here were replaced, so I'm not going to replace them because, boys and girls, they are a pain in the ass to replace. There is a subframe portion to this vehicle, this piece here, which basically goes from the front of the vehicle underneath the rad support all the way to the beginning of the frame rail where the floorboard is. And you got to remove that whole piece in order to access this stupid thing here. Why? Well, I'll tell you why, boys and girls, because no one on the Subaru design team understood that they could have put a small bolt here that would have taken the same amount of torque as this guy would instead of putting a stud. So because they put that stud there, you can't just pull this stupid metal bracket out. No, they want you to jump through hoops. It is an expensive job to have done, and it is a common issue. Now, to accompany that, boys and girls, you will have to deal with the rust of all those bolts that are holding this frame piece up. Most times they come out, but they are getting older, and the more that we see them now being older and older, it is not so good. It usually leaves you with a few more gray hair than you came in with the same day. If you're a technician and if you're doing this in the driveway, it will drive you absolutely insane. You will not want to work on your car probably ever again. That being said, if those bushings are bad, you can check them like this, but the absolute best way to check them is by making sure that the car is on level ground. What you'll need to do is sneak your beer gut past the front bumper and jiggle it in this section here or over here if you can get your hands in there, and then you'll be able to tell. The reason being, of course, is because when you change the position by putting it up on the hoist, the rubber is going to grip more because it's not wearing in the same place that it does when the vehicle is on a flat surface. So hopefully none of you boys and girls have to do that particular job at home. Of course, if you do, I'll tell you right now, boys and girls, it is probably better to get a professional to do the job for you instead of you ripping your hair out. So just thought I'd let you guys know in case you put your stabilizer links in and then you comment, "Hey Jimmy, I did the damn job and this stupid thing's still clucking." That is most likely what it is, unless you have a bad ball joint. 9 times out of 10, it's this guy here. So boys and girls, there you go. That's how you do the job. The only thing left to do now is to, of course, take this thing down and off the hoist, take it for a test drive to ensure that I did the job properly. Well, boys and girls, that's all she wrote for this one. Hopefully you found the video entertaining as well as informative. Of course, if you did, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss one of my new videos. As always, thanks for watching. We will see you in the next one. In today's video, boys and girls, we're going to be showing you how to swap out the front stabilizer links on a Forester. I said it was a Forester in the beginning, so that was pointless. Stupid Jimmy. We got these guys here, and they seem like they had some seriously... Oh, for fuck's sakes. What the fuck? This is supposed to be a quick one, Jimmy. And as you can see here, there is no nut, or as you can see here in this section, there is nothing there for you to grip onto in terms, oh for fuck's sakes. As you can see in this section here of the like I say, if your car is as old as mine's, it will definitely be. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, that's 16, Jimmy. Stupid. But if it makes you feel better, you can put some anti-seize on these portion for you with you is turn this to the off or left hand position. Wait, what? Do not do this process with a gun because you don't know. I'm thinking of donuts or something. What the fuck was that? Anyhow, torque specs the same on both sides, 33 and 45 Newton meters. Oh wait, 33 what, Jimmy? Stupid. Your stabilizer link and sway bar are two potential issues, but it'll also create the same exact potentially be causing a knocking noise. I'm gonna fucking do this over again. Fuck, man, sound like a retard. Oops, said the R word.